So, okay, now it's all official. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to share this agenda thing with you guys if I can find everybody's email addresses to share it with. I think I've got them.
Are you doing it on Google Docs?
I'll share it with Google Docs, and then that way anybody can put in whatever it needs to be. Welcome. Do you have a Gmail, Mike?
I do.
Could you type it in the chat on the side?
Sure thing, if I can figure this out.
Okay. Or you can send it in the email. We're just going to be using Google Docs a lot, and it's easier if you've got a Gmail. Has anybody heard anything from Roland?
Not yet. Nothing from an email or anything.
Janina, do you want to report back about how everything went as far as the assignment?
Yeah, so everyone.
Go ahead.
So basically, everyone but Roland managed to get their parts in for that particular paper. I don't blame him. It could be like a time difference, or maybe he was just in bed, or maybe he was just in bed by then when I started working on things. So I just did his part for the sake of the due date, I suppose.
Okay.
But that is turned in, so we should be good for that paper.
Good. Thank you.
Thanks for doing that.
Okay. Have you sent me an email or put your Gmail in anywhere, Mike?
I put my Gmail in the chat. Did you not get it?
Is it in the Hangouts chat?
The Hangouts chat, yes.
I don't see it. Am I blind? Somebody else see it?
Well, I see him joining, but I didn't see his Gmail.
Can you just tell me?
Okay, it's MP as and then S as in Sierra, Charlie, Hotel, Michael, India, Delta, Tango, Lima,
Whoa. I lost it after India.
Sorry. All right. So I'll start from the beginning. I'll just spell it military. So it's Michael. So M as in Michael, P as in Paul, S as in Sierra, C as in Charlie, H as in Hotel, M as in Michael, I as in India, D as in Delta, T as in Tango, L as in Lima, E as in Echo, I as in India, N as in November @gmail.com.
Okay. Got it. Thank you. Thanks for slowing that down for me.
Sorry about that. I'm really sorry about last week. I've been in the middle of a move, and I'm trying to figure out internet stuff like that. I'm really sorry, and yeah.
No, that's okay. We're glad to have you.
But I'm gonna, I'm here.
Okay, and so I think to just get stuff out in the front, communication, this is for everybody. Communication, I think, is going to be key. If you've got an assignment and you can't do it, you need to let the whole group know before it's due, so we're not scrambling. And this is for everybody. Like, I don't have a problem filling in or doing something that I wasn't originally assigned to do, but if you're like, we've got 5 minutes until this is due and I can't do it, that's too late. That's not cool. Don't do that to anybody. Okay, so I just shared with everybody. I just shared the agenda with everybody in Gmail, so you can look at it. We can edit it. We can use this every time we meet, regardless of who's running the meeting. That way we make sure that our meetings are productive and that nothing, falls through the cracks and we miss stupid points for a stupid assignment that we should have done. Okay, so.
I am not seeing it.
The Google Docs link?
Let me check.
Let's see. Oh,
it should be in Gmail.
Let me check with who I shared it with. Maybe I put your email address in wrong.
Okay, I'm seeing it now. And it looks like...
Okay. Do you have it, Stephanie?
Let's see. Let me see another way, if I can pull it up.
Here, I'll put a link in the chat. You see the link in the group chat right
Alright.
there in Hangouts.
Hold up. Here it is. Got it.
There
Okay.
we go.
I guess it just wasn't registering on my docs thing.
You got it, Mike? Are you in it?
I'm trying. Sorry, I'm trying to do that right now. I'm not seeing it in the chat. I'll find it.
Okay. And I'll put the link to it in the email, the group email too, so that everybody should have access to it next time.
Okay.
Okay, so project charter. I did not look at it besides knowing that we have to do it.
Okay, so project charter. So we need 4 pages of that charter. It's gonna need to have kind of like what our proposal had, except now there's quality, there's risk, resources, time, and cost. So that's 5 new things.
We got the majority of the resources in the comments. I commented, I don't know if you guys saw it, but I commented on somebody's comment on our project
discussion board?
proposal. Yeah, just on the discussion board. And I listed like everything with references to Walmart because he asked for it. Yeah, so I don't know if that'll qualify for this, but or for the resources.
I imagine it should.
Okay.
So still trying to figure out where this is. So yeah, go ahead and keep going. I'm just trying to figure out where this is so that I can make sure that I'm looking at everything everybody else is. There we go. Finally found it.
Oh, let's see. Let me just quickly check something.
So it looks like in our charter, we have to put the scope with it.
Yeah.
With it.
So it's really everything our proposal had plus 5 new things.
Yeah.
So do you guys want me to just copy and paste our proposal that we had onto this and then we could add to it?
Yeah, we can do
That's
that. That'll
fine.
be a good starting point.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and I think we ought to just, as part of the group, just, you know, if we were to actually for real do this, I would be like, everybody bring your own work gloves instead of providing like, you know, latex or rubber gloves.
Yeah.
Because some of the stuff you're going to be picking up that people are shooting at, it's not going to be candy wrappers. It's going to be stuff like TVs and refrigerators. I don't know.
That's still an option. We can definitely do that still.
And we could still have some gloves, you know, just available because 100 count, you know, that's probably so good to have on hand. And then if
they
people
double up on
were
it,
to bring their little grabbers so they don't have to touch stuff with their hand, they don't even need gloves. Okay, so there's supposed to be some sort of a set of best practices that we are supposed to be citing. Is that what the work breakdown structure is part of? Is that your guys' understanding of that?
Using detail, sample text, create work.
Which part are you looking at? The scope?
So we've got a project
scope
charter.
Options, instructions. So project chart. Wait, which one are we looking at?
Project charters.
Okay. Oh, I see. Complete and include the scope assignment from this week. Oh, I see. So we're turning. Wow, so we're turning the scope options 2 times? Interesting.
That's what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so confused.
I don't know what he means by any So we're turning in what we prepared last week with any necessary modifications or clarifications.
So that's
The paper
probably, so the clarifications, I imagine, is going to, we're either going to get it in the meeting tomorrow
Mhm.
that we have with the instructor, or it's going to be like responses to the discussion board to what other people commented as far as our presentation goes,
Okay.
or both.
I feel like I'm confused every week with this course for some reason. It's only this course.
No, I
Yeah.
agree.
Agreed.
From what
I
I've
feel like
heard,
everything
this
was just poorly worded.
it is, and from what I've heard from this course, it's a mess. And it's not as messy this semester, but it's just a mess, especially having no textbook. So they're like, use this. And we're like, what is this? We've never even looked this up before. And they're like, well, go look it up and look up 4 sources. People can post whatever they want on the internet. So I guess if you
Mhm.
find 4 people that say the wrong thing, well, at least it was cited by 4 sources that all said the wrong thing.
So since I wasn't here last week, what do I need to do?
So for now, we're just trying to figure out, number one, what we even have to do. And then we will, on that agenda, we will divide up the assignments for each person to just do part of it. So
Okay.
that everybody's working on it together. We'll assign one person to record a video about it, set up somebody to submit it, and then the other group members actually work on it. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
And we'll alternate who's doing what, but since we're meeting every week, I'm sure there'll be plenty of opportunities for everybody to have a chance to do
Mhm.
pretty much everything.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. I
So
just
I feel
added
like
everything that we
I
have.
feel like some of these things aren't really applicable to this kind of a project, like verification and validation tests.
Yeah.
Can't really do any of that
No.
with
This looks
this
like something.
project.
Yeah, this layout looks like something you would do if you were doing like some programming project or something,
Yeah.
like test
Mhm.
cases, validations. That's definitely something for software development.
Yeah. And a WBS coding scheme, whatever that is.
Use one of the 5 books that are thought to be useful.
Yeah. Or use the internet, whatever you want.
Yeah, well, on the internet, it's hard too because everything that I looked up for the waterfall stuff was for computer programming.
Yeah, pretty
Mhm.
much.
I couldn't find a single source about anything else.
Yeah,
I hate the
even
papers for this class where it's like, here's define this term and define it in 2 pages, where the sources will give you are 100 words on each page, and it explains it in a really good detail. But we need you to explain this in good detail, but somehow fill enough fluff so that it fills 2 pages.
And don't
That's right.
plagiarize. Don't use their words.
yeah, it was pretty interesting. The waterfall thing seemed to be outdated too. Most of what I read on it was actually negative.
Yeah.
Getting the bulk up front and everything associated with that. At least when it comes to, I'm sure it works great for engineering, but just like using that in CIT.
But apparently it's been a traditional method for most organizations. So
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah, it was just interesting. Yeah, it was hard to find something positive about it. For me, at least. Let's see. So, if anything looks off, or I guess we all looked at the scope, feasibility, and need. But for the cost down here, if anything looks off or you have any questions about it, just let me know. And if you feel like you need a change, something, go for it. But
Okay, so for the waterfall project charter, to my understanding, it seems like that is the same thing as the charter
is.
assignment, right? This is our waterfall project, right?
More or less, I think.
Okay, good. As long as it's not something separate that we need to learn about. Okay, so project charter. I'm going to put a link in the chat so that we all are looking at the same thing. I don't know if linking it will work or not. Like, I don't know if it'll pull up the same thing for you guys as I see on mine.
Yeah,
So I'm
this is
looking at,
the. Yeah, this is what I'm. This is what I'm
okay.
seeing.
Okay, so we've got the waterfall project charter. So let's break this down first as far as assignments go. I think
Mhm.
what Josh has posted will be a really good start so that we can work off of that. So we're going to need to, well, do we have everything that we had from last week? Yeah, okay, so we've got all of that in there. I don't know that there's really anything else that we need to modify or clarify at this point.
Right.
We'll see what the teacher says tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe something we should do is, as far as the scope goes, we may need to narrow down the area that we're going to be cleaning up. Because if it's a 40-mile long canyon, we're not going to be able to clean up 40 miles in 3 hours.
Let's see. Yeah, so it should be just the crater that's in there.
Okay.
So
its
how
range area is the crater, essentially.
So how big is this crater?
It's probably, I'd say 100 yards by 50 yards, somewhere around there, maybe less.
Maybe less. So do you think we should shrink that area, or should we just keep that area as is?
Oh, so I can take off the 40-mile long valley.
Mm-hmm.
And just put, yeah, we should specify that there. That's a good point.
Well, if we're going to do Skull Valley Crater, we can just put in, or like Skull Valley is a 40-mile long crate or 40-mile long canyon. Within it is a crater range. We're going to clean up the crater or something like that. Just because if we're like, everybody carpool, meet us here. If we were really doing this project, we're like, just meet there. Is the crater specific enough that anybody in the area would actually know exactly where to go if you said meet at the crater? Or would you end up with people all along the...
It's pretty big. I think anybody who has been there or who would come to clean it up has probably been there.
Okay. And do you think, I've never been there, I assume you have, because you're talking like you know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I've been there quite a bit.
Do you think it would be possible for that to be cleaned up in 3 hours if we had like a group of like 40 people out there to go do it? Do you think it would be feasible? Okay.
Yeah, because people haven't left like entire vehicles there. It's more of like smaller things like computer screens or old TVs.
Oh, okay. I see.
And yeah, so yeah, and I don't know. We would probably leave most of the rusted brass because it's already too late for that. Well, I don't know. We could try to pick that up too, but I think it could take roughly 3 hours.
Okay.
Okay.
So if we put that in for the scope, or just include it, narrow it down for the scope, just specifically, this is the criteria. I'll do the scope. How about instead of telling you all what I think we should do, I'll just do the scope part.
Alrighty.
Okay. Let's start handing out some assignments. Okay. So I'll just put, I hope if I spelled my name right. Okay.
Time, we already kind of covered
Stephanie,
that.
I think I mixed up your last name with someone else's, so I'm so sorry. When I turned on the, yeah.
Okay, so time we are good on. I don't think we need to make any changes with that.
No.
We've got it for 3 hours. Cost is good. Resources, we have, okay, so somebody needs to do resources. So we need to do risk. I think with risk, we need to include, somebody mentioned in our discussion board as a comment that we may need somebody to, be like standing up at the top so that if folks are coming in to drop their junk down there so they can shoot at it, we need to be like, hey, there's people down there, don't shoot because they're cleaning it up. Something like that. Just somebody as like a safety person to keep an eye on. I don't know. What do you guys think about that as far as
I think
risk
that's a good
goes?
idea.
Yeah.
It definitely reduces risk.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
And then that person could also like be in charge of being like, okay, this work team, you go that way. This work team goes this way.
So kind of like a project manager, sort of, or like a
Yeah.
manager of some sort.
Yeah, like a supervisor on scene to really run it, so that, because I've been to projects where nobody's really in charge and everybody shows up, they're like, okay, what do we do? And everybody looks at each other and wastes time until somebody takes charge and starts handing out assignments. So, okay, who wants to do quality?
Let's see.
Let's see what that is. I'll do it.
Okay,
I'd be
so
happy to.
quality is we have to define success or quality metrics of the project. And we have to come up with 5 items in a table format. So we can try to come up with some quick ideas right now if you want, or you can try to come up with them on your own. For this project, on time would be, we do it on the day we're scheduled to do it. Maybe to have a turnout of 20 people. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Something like that seems fine.
Just something that we can measure our project against. Collect like 6 bags worth of trash.
Or well, that depends on how much trash there is.
That's true.
Yeah. It's hard to know exactly how much we should shoot for.
Or to get a truckload or something. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to tell. But if it's going to be like TV screens and that big stuff, it shouldn't be too hard to come up with a truckload.
Yeah,
unless somebody just cleaned it.
So the truck that I got, it's a 5 cubic yard truck, so it's pretty dang big.
Okay.
But I think we'd be able to fill it. I'm not positive, but so fill a truckload.
Any other thoughts of what we could use as measurements?
One time content.
Budget. Budget.
Oh yeah, we could do within budget. That'd be a good one.
Turnout. That'd be good. We'd need a good turnout.
Would turnout fall under content though?
Oh. Yeah, probably. Here, let me delete that.
We could include it. I know it's on the example, but we could include it if we finish it on time.
Or within the time period. Like if
Yeah,
you finish early, too.
Yeah, that's true. Most people are good to give 3 hours. If you say the service project will take 3 hours, if you're there for 6 hours, a lot of people aren't happy about that.
So on time and also end time? Those two separate things?
Like either like end on time or like until it's complete. Like if it takes you 2 hours to do it, opposed to 3.
Or we could just change the phrasing and say, we'll clean as much as we can in 3 hours. And if the crater's not completely clean, then it's not completely clean, but we worked for 3 hours and you get what you get and it's better than it was before.
Yeah,
I think that's wise.
And then that way it doesn't really matter how many people turn out. It doesn't really matter all the other details. At least it's better than it was before.
Yeah.
But we can still use those as like, since we have to have 5 items, we can still put those in as metrics. Yeah, but I'm just like, if we were to really do this, I would not have all these metrics. Like this is way more complicated than this needs to be, but we're supposed to learn it. So I guess we'll deal with it.
Mhm.
Okay, so
Do
we
you think
need
you'll be able to
just
come up
one
with more of those, Josh, or do we need to? I think we need to come up with one more.
just
Do you-
one more. I think I could come up with one more.
Okay.
Got
So
a couple of
we'll let you
ideas.
do that then. Risk. Who wants to try to figure out the risks and how to minimize the risks?
I can try to do that. Or Michael, did you want to do risk?
You could go
There's
for it. I don't mind.
there's still room for risk and resources.
Yeah,
So,
I'll take
Mike-
risk.
So Mike, you can probably grab resources.
What do
Okay.
you want to do,
Oh.
Janina, so that you're not the one left turning it in, since
Hmm,
you turned one in?
let's see. I don't know what
Do
else
you
is
want
left
to?
to do.
Well, you could do scope, and I could record it, or anybody who's willing to swap out. Everybody's going to have a chance to do something. So
Okay.
I'm not picky.
I'm
about-
willing to switch if you need.
Okay. I can probably. Did someone put in time already? Because all I see is like 8 hours.
We've got
Oh,
3 hours in for
3
time,
hours.
but we haven't
Or 3
explained it
hours.
from there.
And yeah,
You
I
can
can.
do that and explain it
Yeah.
better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, you can do that then. So Janina will do time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so since Roland isn't at the meeting and he didn't do his part last time, do we want to assign him something? And
No,
then just
I vote no.
He hasn't
Okay.
responded to any of our emails or hasn't checked in with us. So
okay.
Mhm.
So we'll just he's sitting out this week for now then. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, so for this one, since we've got resources too, so Janina's doing time, resources will be done by Mike. So that means everybody's done something pretty much. Josh has already done a recording. So, and we've got like plenty of projects. Everybody's gonna get a chance to do something because we've got so much due this week.
Yeah. Let's
So,
see. I'm wondering if we should have Roland do the video presentation though, because apparently that's one of our deliverables.
do you think it would actually get done though? I feel like the video is probably more important than everything else
Yeah, that is true though.
because he didn't even make his
I
personal
don't-
presentation.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't trust on that one.
Okay. So who wants to do the video presentation this week?
I'll do it.
Okay.
Do we want to do anything with PowerPoint or anything like that with it as
It's a-
supporting material?
I would say it would be a good idea presentation wise.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's easier to just throw this information on a PowerPoint. That's what I did last week. Pretty
Okay.
much copy and pasted the majority of it.
Okay. Did you have a link to that PowerPoint somewhere?
The PowerPoint? No, but wait, did I put it on the?
I don't
Discussion
know.
board?
I never
I
look
think
at
it might
people's
be on the
PowerPoints.
discussion board.
Okay, I'll look.
Yeah.
If not, you could
Okay.
always. If
And you
not,
can
someone could always send a PowerPoint.
Yeah, you can email it to me. I'm just like, if you've
Oh,
already put
yeah.
it all on there, I can edit it so that it's updated and just use the same PowerPoint you did. That way it's cohesive and it's consistent with what we've done before without starting all over again. So
Yeah, I'll send it on over.
yeah, just email it to me. Just email it to the whole group so that we all have access to it if you're okay with that. And then
Yeah.
we can update it as needed. That way we can just keep it going.
Anyone can
running.
edit it.
Okay, so I think that gets us covered as far as the charter goes. Are we missing anything?
No,
I don't think so.
Mhm.
Okay, deadline. When is this deadline going to be for the waterfall project? Or everything that we're doing that's due on Saturday?
Friday.
I think that sounds good. Do we
Yeah, I
want to say
think we should get it done by Friday.
a
Mhm.
Friday? What time? Shall we say like 7 p.m. Eastern, so it'd be
6
5 p.m. Mountain Time, 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
Yeah,
Would that work?
Sure.
Sure.
absolutely.
Sure.
So 5 p.m. Mountain Time when everything is due. And I'm going to put that at the top in bold. And when I turn this in, I'm going to take all the extra stuff out. All our notes and stuff is not going to be in there when I turn it in.
Okay.
So to the class, like for the assignment, we personally submit our own thing and then send whoever our section as well, or how does that all work?
So we have a Google Docs. So Mike, you just make sure that your part's in that Google Docs, and then once our personal due dates hits, and everyone has their parts, Linda can turn it in.
Okay. So we turn in our separate parts
so
to the
only
class,
one
and
person.
someone else does the whole thing.
Yep.
Yeah, so only one person from the group submits it each week for the
To the teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Perfect.
Okay, so we're done with the charter part. We need the scope options assignment as well. And that's the link that I put in there earlier. And this where it talks about work breakdown structures and verification or validation tests.
Test cases.
And
we'll need to clarify this with the teacher, because this looks like something that you do for software.
yeah, this would not be applicable at all. So let's just go through it so that if the teacher's like, well, figure it out and do it anyway, we aren't like, oh, we need to have a quick meeting to decide who's doing what. So let's go ahead and assign who's going to figure out what, and then we can email the teacher and find out how we can apply this assignment to our project, since what it talks about isn't really applicable. So I imagine this set of best practices may be applicable in some sense, but yeah, the verification and validation tests probably won't be. And who knows about the WBS?
Work breakdown structure. Let's see.
I don't even know.
We could break down them picking up the trash, I guess.
Yeah, that would be a way if we set them, set them up into work teams or something. You go this way, you go that direction, that sort of thing. But that also depends how many people we have show up. Since it's volunteer, there's no guarantee how many people are going to show up.
Right.
Yeah.
But we can pretend it'll be at least the 5 of us.
Oh, right. That's going to be one ambitious project if it's just
Well,
Yeah.
Well, if we did the cleanup however much we can in 3 hours, yeah. Probably would not fill that truck up, but good thing it's all hypothetical and we don't really have to do it.
Or each of us could have, since it's 5 of us, at least is going to be there, it's going to be like 5 teams.
Yeah, that's true. We could each be our own team leader. And everybody could recruit in their ward or whatever. Okay, so for the scope options, I'm adding this at the bottom.
Okay, and Linda, you said you had a link for this one as well?
So it's in the agenda link.
Oh, it's in the same. Oh, sorry.
So we've got the
kidding.
agenda link, and then there's one on the side that is what I'm looking at in iLearn, so that we're all looking at the same thing. Is that link working for you? Or did you find it?
Scope. Sorry, I was thinking there was a different Google Docs for this, but now I see it.
Okay.
I get what you're saying.
Okay, good. No, it's good. As long as we're all on the same page, I think that's great. Okay, so 5 specific requirements for our project that meet a set of best practices. I haven't read the best practices, so I don't even know, but we do need to cite our source too. So who wants to decide what our best practices are going to be and cite their source?
I could do that part.
Okay. I can't pick out who you are just by your voice.
Oh.
Tell me who you are. Stephanie? Is it Stephanie? Okay.
Yeah, I'll put my name on here.
Okay.
I can try that out.
Okay, sounds good. And you're putting it down at the bottom, right?
Down at the bottom. I just put my name next to it on the agenda thing. Where,
Okay.
okay, and then I can put my name next to it on the agenda thing. Where, okay, and then I can put my name next to it on the agenda thing. Where, okay, and then I can put my name next to it on the agenda thing. Where, okay, and then I can put my name next to it on the agenda thing. Where, where it has it outlined.
Are we in a different Google Docs?
No, it's the same one. It's just at the bottom. So the top one, it says
Okay.
Waterfall Project Charter in bold. Do you see that?
I show the
Okay,
scope at the
there we
top
go.
on mine.
So the top part, this is the agenda. Okay, so right now, Waterfall
Oh,
Project
just
Charter, I
kidding.
made it purple. So that's
I'm
where
sorry.
that's where our assignment starts. So put your stuff in down at the bottom. And then
Okay,
scroll
I'm
down
sorry. I
some more.
got what you're saying.
Scroll down more. I made that one purple too. Scope options assignment. And yeah, just so that everybody knows where we're posting everything. So I don't go to turn it in on Friday. I'm like, where is everything? I don't understand, because I'll get super confused.
Okay, yeah, sorry. I'm a little sleep deprived, so that's all confused.
No, that's okay. At least you're here. We'll take what we can get. So if you do that, so work breakdown structure. Does somebody want to volunteer to do the work breakdown structure?
I could tackle that.
Okay. And
I'll
then
figure out what it is.
if the teacher says you don't need to do it, then we will scratch that and don't have to do it. And then verification and validation tests.
I can do that.
Okay. And I will email the teacher. I'll just make it a group email. All of us will be on the email and be like, hey, we need some clarification about this.
That sounds good.
And that way we can all see. And if he only responds to me, then obviously I'll forward it all to everybody so that we all know what's going on.
What you can do is probably just CC all of us.
Well, I mean, he could still only reply to her.
Yeah, he could just
Okay.
select reply instead of reply all. So hopefully he'll just reply all. And maybe I'll say that in the email, hey, I've got our whole group copied in this. Can you tell us what we're supposed to do? Okay, so I'm turning it in and I am doing the recording. Okay. So do we have everything? Are we covered?
Yep.
Has
I
everything been
so.
assigned?
Yep.
I
I
think
think
so.
we're good.
Yeah, it looks good to me.
Okay, so we are good on that. Now we need to, what are we supposed to prepare for our instructor meeting tomorrow? Does anybody know?
Let's.
I have no
see.
idea.
So that is tomorrow night at 5 p.m. Mountain Time, 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And it is in Brother Bragg. Is that this teacher? Brother Bragg's Zoom room. I will send the link out to everybody when our meeting ends for that Zoom chat. And I think we just need to be in there and be on time. I don't know if it's going to be recorded or not.
So real fast, so I was actually in the car driving for a lot of this. So I'm finally home and on a computer. Where is the document that has all the stuff that'll, like, so for instance, I said I'm doing resources.
So I shared it with your Gmail.
Okay.
So you can check if it's not in there. I will send the email. Well, I'll send the link out in our, let me just do it right now. Let me send the link out in our email chain that we've got going. And so everything that we do for this assignment will just be in this Google Doc. And then we can start over and make a new agenda for our next meeting at the top. I don't know. We'll figure something out.
Okay, and I'll try figuring out what resources.
Okay, so got the link sent. And if you guys have any questions or anything, just respond to the group email and we can go from there. Okay. So I think we still need to figure out what we need to actually be prepared with. I think if we've got most of this prepared, since we've at least talked about it, if the teacher asks us about it, we can be good to go. Whatever you're assigned to do, if the teacher asks a question about it, you're the one that gets to answer the question about it. So just be prepared. with that, because you will be the expert of whatever your section is. At least I think that's a good way to do it.
Alrighty, and I'll take
Yeah.
for that. If he asks about costs, I'll cover that because I technically already did that.
Okay.
I found all the information for that. So just so you guys know, if he says costs, you don't have to worry. But one thing I'm noticing in the scope, it says a little bit of just the last sentence. It seems like it's more applicable to resources.
Okay. You want to just cut that out and move it over?
Yeah, and then
Thank
so
you.
that'll
I
give you a
appreciate
head
that.
start, Mike.
I think for the scope
Okay.
of this,
And I'm just going to say this is open edit. So if something's in your section and you don't like how it's worded or you don't like it, keep the message of it. But that's your section. You do whatever you want to do to it to make sure it answers the questions and it's what you agree with. Is that okay with everybody? Are we all on board with that?
yeah, sure.
Okay. I just don't want anybody to be like, well, I just have to say this because my group is saying it, but I don't really believe it. I don't think that's really going to be a problem with this assignment, but who knows? Okay. So I don't see any instructions about what we actually need to be prepared for our instructor meeting tomorrow.
Right.
So, okay, I guess we'll just show up and take what comes. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like
Sounds
this
like a
whole
good
class
plan.
they're just drinking out of a fire hose this whole class, and I hate classes like this, but we'll get through
I
it.
don't feel like I'm drinking out of a fire hose. I just feel like I'm drinking out of a broken faucet. It just, yeah.
That's
It doesn't
yeah,
seem like a lot
that's-
of information. It
That's-
just doesn't seem
Yeah,
to be.
That's probably a better comparison. Yeah. Gotta get your duct tape out and fix the faucet so you can even get a drink, but you gotta Google where to find your duct tape.
Well,
Okay.
hopefully talking to the teacher tomorrow will help us out a bit. Hopefully.
Yeah,
I hope so too.
I really hope so. Okay, so I'm going to. Does anybody have anything else we need to talk about? I was going to end the broadcast and we can all be on our way.
Watch. He's going to
Is
watch
there
this and be like, they're complaining about my class.
It's probably nothing he hasn't heard before. I've heard that
Oh,
this
yeah, I
class
mean, he
is
didn't
terrible
make
and like
the class.
everybody
It's not his
complains about it.
Yeah, not his fault at all.
But he's not going to see the link to this. This is just going to be for group members. So
Yeah,
we can
there
complain
is.
all we want. And I think that's part of if we have to do group assignment, at least we can complain together and we all can relate to the misery of it.
Great.
We're in this together.
Okay, so I'm going to stop the broadcast.